That's something in the last two questions you talked about, the emotional experience of a client. And I think that's interesting that you brought that up. I think some people might envision an attorney as purely charging forward with a sword, and litigating no matter what. And that does ring true to me, that a good attorney also is thinking about the health of the client, the mental
Oh,
health, and
kill the patient but for the cure.
yeah,
At Rosenberg Law, we really try to keep in mind that the most effective representation comes from getting a resolution for the issue at the earliest possible moment and at the least costly end result, meaning that the longer that you have to litigate, the more longer you're in a dispute, the more costly it's going to be. And that affects everybody. The best result is one where the damages are limited and where the economic impact as well as the emotional impact, because litigation is stressful and costly. And also it's letting somebody else make a decision for you down the road. The best way to resolve things oftentimes is by looking at what the facts are, understanding and accepting the fact that maybe you're not totally right, maybe there are some wrongs. This goes to misconduct also, recognizing that if you find yourself making a mistake, you need to stop immediately and get advice from your board or from counsel to prevent further damage. Similarly, the priority for my client is to bring a result at the earliest possible moment and at the most cost efficient means, meaning that it's not always best to go full tilt and say litigation and fight down the road to have somebody else make a decision for the client. Sometimes it's best to understand that for the client, the best thing to be is treating patients or providing the service and being in business. And that often gets lost in fighting over principal LE versus principal AL. And that's a very important concept for the client to understand, that you need to think about the dollars and resolution, and that sometimes what emotionally is best for the client is not to be in a long involved litigation.